Welcome to the Motocross Supercross podcast.
What is up, everybody? Episode 39, Indianapolis, Indiana, Supercross, 250 East-West Shootout review coming at you. This is Adam here with Claudio. What's up, Claudio?
What's going on, my friend? How you been? How you doing?
Been good, and I really enjoyed the races this weekend.
Yes.
Like I said, it was pretty hyped up. And it was just a cool, atmosphere with it just being, started with all the snow coming down. It was really coming down up there.
It was definitely, it snowed a lot. Yeah, outside. Good thing for the, inside, I wouldn't say dome, but, the inside stadium.
Yeah, I saw, on the news after, they had they were showing just how bad the storm was, and Indianapolis was the one video that they had cameras there showing how bad it was. All the traffic stopped. So I bet that ride home after the race for the fans sucked dick. That shit was terrible
for everyone. I bet everything sucked that day. The pit party and stuff like that. Everyone was just miserable in the snow.
It looked like a nice snow, though. It didn't look like a mean storm. It was just, you know what I'm saying?
Good vibes.
Yeah, it was just a good vibe storm to go with a good vibe night. But there was a couple things that happened that, first, let's just talk about Justin Hill. Justin Hill was a no-show for this event. We said he was going to be there. Even
Yes.
The little intro video they had on for the race, it was Justin Hill. Meet Zach Osborne. But Justin Hill missed with a illness is what they said. So I don't know if I buy it. I don't know if he's still hurt from his other crash, but maybe he was just sick and couldn't run, but he was there and just didn't run. So that really sucks for him and that JGR team. And plus how he came off that season or came up that last 250 West race in San Diego with a win. So it sucks he couldn't be there to, defend his position. And let's see where he can stack up with everyone else. But
yeah, definitely. It was unfortunate because he was one of the ones that I was kind of looking forward to see, like I called it, he was a rising star right now. He was getting in the groove of things. So it was very unfortunate to be out, especially for just, illness, not really being hurt or anything like that. So
yeah, and he had his, his graphics all picked out, and he was ready to go. Just couldn't do it. So we'll have to wait and see what the word is on him, see if he's riding this week, see if he's ready to go for Seattle, I believe. But we actually get a week off too after this week, so everyone gets a little breather. So if all the injured riders will be able to heal up a little bit and come in strong to our next race.
Yeah, that's right. We've had what's this? What round you said it was?
This was round 12.
Yeah, so we've had 12 weeks of straight Supercross. So
I loved it too. It was a good 12 weeks.
You sure it's 12?
Yeah, that would have been 12 starting at the second week of January.
The only reason I'm saying is because it was the 7th round for West Coast, 6th round for East Coast. So
add those together.
12. That's
and
13.
But that counts as 2 for them. So
okay, yeah,
since they're running together. But yeah, so it was a good run to begin with, and it was good that it'll be good for the riders to get a week off and hopefully get a little healthy. It seems like everybody's out there freaking messed up.
Yeah, everyone, everybody will definitely appreciate the little break they're gonna get right here, and a lot of outdoor testing going on this couple of weeks, and I'm definitely ready for the closing of the Supercross. A little sad, but it is what it is. We'll be here. Remember to give us a follow at MXSX Podcast for after the Supercross. Obviously we're gonna go right into motocross, so stay tuned for sure.
Yes, sir. And so we're going to be talking about the 250s today, East-West Coast Shootout. Problems started in practice with Adam Cianciarulo had 2 crashes in practice.
Yeah, a lot of the riders went down, and a lot of the top riders went down in practice and qualifying too. Like you said, Adam Cianciarulo went down a couple times.
Yep.
Sporn had a couple problems. Forkner went down. So even a lot of the riders had a couple problems in the qualifying. Mossman went over the berm. Thank God for that net.
Yeah, so, he met the net.
Yeah, he. I don't know if you remember, but there was where the finish line was that turn before in the practice, or like the first practices, it was like actually a bowl turn, and Mossman went over the bars and broke the net poles.
Jeez.
So yeah, so they ended up taking it off and they flattened out the berm.
Wow.
Yeah, so we don't have another Matt Gerke incident.
Yeah. Okay. Well, also Jordan Smith had a practice crash.
Yes, Joe Smith went down as well. Yeah, you're right.
I saw the video on his Instagram, and it was pretty gnarly. Was that on the live stream? Did they have that on there?
I don't remember. I got there late, so I think I got in after he crashed, but I did see a replay of it.
Yeah, it was nasty. Like it was good to see him race. So
yeah, we're gonna try and put some more videos up.
Yeah, we'll see what was recorded, and yeah, we will be putting videos on our Instagram, so make sure you check that out at MXSX Podcast. So yeah, the track was rough. There was a lot of crashes in practice, not only 250s, 450s. We'll just touch on it. Tevin Tapia got really jacked up, broke his pelvis and his back. And he had some other like internal problems too, like internal bleeding and stuff. So that's messed up. He hit hard.
I saw it in a couple of the riders' Instagram. They're showing support, and yeah, it is messed up. It's hard to see how many victims this Supercross season has taken.
So many.
Yeah.
In both classes too. And maybe one of these shows will get into all those injuries and just add them up. They could have their own race. All the injured riders could have their own, 22-man gate stacked up. So, so looking at these qualifying times, it was Savacci was going fast in practice, really fast. 44.1 was his best time. Like all those West Coast guys had really, really fast times, and they were running pretty close together. Those top guys were.
Yeah, definitely. Savacci had the fastest lap time for the 250 guys, and overall, I guess. There was a couple of surprises. Blake Wharton was up there too, first time back in the showdown, and he ended up, I think it was like 8th in practice or something like that. So there was a lot of good mixed up there for sure.
Yeah, he 6th in one of the practices, too. Overall. So yeah, he looked really good out there. And we are gonna talk about him a lot. Let's start off with that 250 West heat. It's like a main event heat, pretty much.
Before we even start, I wanted to add up something. Just a couple of things. The riders, after the race, they were asking the riders, what they thought of the East-West showdown and stuff. And a lot of the riders seems to like it. They seems to like the format. They seem to like the battling, and even talking about making it a 17-round series instead of East and West.
Oh shit. That'd be cool. Yes. It was dope because, like, I love it when they have to put up, like, 2 screens on the TV to show, like, all the different battles. It's like, like, how Red Zone, like, when it gets real intense, there's, 4 teams, and they go, like, 4 wide, and then, like, they start freaking out, like, oh, my God, we're going 4 wide, or whatever. But it kind of reminded me of that, and I love that. I love that.
Yeah, there was a lot of good battles this weekend. There was a lot of good battles by everyone, It was definitely a weekend that everybody kind of wanted to be, but not how everybody wanted to finish type thing.
Yeah, well, there was definitely some people who finished way better than they thought they were going to do.
Oh, for sure. We'll get into that in just a second.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, a couple of the riders were saying they should be a 17-round series, just like the 450. That was Zach Osborne, one of the people that said that. Jeremy Martin also spoke about the Triple Crown and the East-West race, and that he also agrees that they should do 17 rounds.
Do you think they should still split it up like East and West? Like the East gets the first heat, or the West gets the first heat, the East gets the second heat, like that? Or would they all just be together? So
I think they'll just be together. Why would you go East and West at this point if you're doing the whole series?
Yeah. I mean, it would definitely be stacked gates. That's for sure. There was a lot of people who didn't make it in who you're like, dang, that person didn't make it in.
A lot of the riders definitely like the East-West format. So I think we're going to see a lot more in the future for sure.
Sounds good to me. All right, let's jump into this 250 West Heat 1. Shane McElrath pulled the whole shot. Looks like he was just picking up right where he left off.
Yes,
he had some bad finishes.
It was a deja vu from Anaheim 1 for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's good at the beginning, He's leaving this series, he was starting to fade a little. He was still doing consistently good, but he wasn't dominating like he was at the beginning of the season. But he had this whole shot here. He was followed right there by Adam Cianciarulo, Joey Savacci, Hayden Melross. Blake Wharton was right there.
Blake Wharton with a great star. Like you said, Melross was there, Nicoletti, Plessinger with his usual star of between 6th and 8th place. Also Chisholm was up there. So yeah, great start for a lot of people. Starling was there too.
Yeah, Plessinger, he's the points leader coming into this, and he just had a terrible start. It was just, he was not up there. But it didn't take him long to, start catching people. He caught up and passed Blake Wharton right before that, in that turn after the finish, before the long straightaway. Mm-hmm. And he kind of he put a weird pass on him. He really stopped him right there in the corner. He was just he almost came to a complete stop just to cut him off. And then Sexton, who I said was going to do good, also had a terrible start, and he started passing his way up through the heat. But Sexton, he had a bad start and passed his way up. And then Melross had a great start and kind of faded. So they were two little opposites there. Plessinger, it didn't take him long to catch Savacci and battle for third. And all this with McElrath up front and Adam Cianciarulo in second. But Adam Cianciarulo, with 2 laps to go, catches McElrath and passed him for the lead. And this is where things really started heating up with just it being stacked. 2 laps left, and there's still so many battles going on. You didn't know where anyone was going to finish.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, I remember Chisholm actually got passed right before the finish line, and then he got taken out, T-boned out, and that's why he went to the LCQ.
Yeah, Harrison passes Chisholm in that right at the beginning of that rhythm, and then Chisholm. He passed him, so that put Chisholm back at 10th. And then that was Dakota Alex who just came over.
And just plowed him there.
Yeah, he was going way too fast. It's almost like he didn't brake at all. But yeah,
he did with Chisholm.
Yeah, he used Chisholm as his runaway ramp. But yeah so both of them went down.
That turn right there, that's the turn that was a bowl turn, so you can come out of that rhythm section and just kind of go into the rhythm or into that turn and just kind of right and go around and get on.
Yeah, that finish line jump was pretty steep. That was a pretty big jump.
Right after the finish line?
No, that finish line jump itself, super steep. It was just like a catapult. But yeah, so both of them crashed. They both went down. It didn't really matter at that point because they were in 10th and 11th. So
yeah, they were both out. It doesn't really matter exactly.
It might affect their gate pick at the LCQ, but that's where they were both headed. And that was pretty much it for that race. Adam Cianciarulo passed McElrath on that last lap.
For the win.
Yep. And then Shane McElrath got second, Plessinger third, or Plessinger, I guess, is how some people call it. But Joey Savacci 4th, Chase Sexton 5th, Blake Wharton 6th, pretty good. If this was like a main event, I don't know if they still had that offer from Racetrack Supercross where it was like, if you get a top 10, you can stay at the 5-star resort or something. So I don't know. Hopefully he gets a vacation or something out of his good ride. But Hayden Melross 7th, Philip Nicoletti 8th, Mitchell Harrison getting that ninth spot we said, and then Dakota Alex, Justin Starling, Michael Lieb, Kyle Chisholm, Martin Costello, all those guys heading to the LCQ.
Yep.
So yeah, that one it was a good race, good battles. It wasn't the most exciting race of the night, but it was cool to see everyone out there just go in super hard for whatever it is, 7 laps.
Yeah.
10 laps.
Well, this track, it kept going really, like, it got shorter and shorter and shorter. I feel like the main events were really, really long. Or not really, really long, but they did a lot of laps, especially the 450s. They did, they did the ridiculous amount of laps. But, let's jump into this 250 East heat race. Right off the start, like we said earlier, Jeremy Martin looking good.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to get the whole shot, but Peters just like edged him out right there.
He like snuck in on him and kind of caught him and passed him for the whole shot. Jeremy Martin right behind him, Cantrell, then Faulkner, Mossman. A lot of problems for your red plate holders for sure in these races.
That's right. Well, even more problems for Mossman, Osby, and Cantrell with that crash right there, like right off the start. It was kind of nasty looking.
Yeah, thank God they all came out all right.
Yeah, Osby, he gets really good starts. Like the entire East Coast, he's gotten really good starts.
So has Peters, I feel like.
Oh yeah, Peters has been killing it recently. So yeah, we should definitely expect Peters to be up there more. Definitely.
For sure.
So Martin was like, he looked like he was going to get the start, and then like everyone passed each other at the beginning, and he ended up in like 4th, but then he caught Peters, so he passed him, and then Osborne catches like the whole front 4-pack, and he passes Martin right before the whoops for that third place spot.
Yeah, Faulkner passed Martin and Peters to take over first place as well. And Peters was out there giving Faulkner a little bit of a run, but you can't run with Faulkner, man.
Yeah, and Osborne, he was like, him and Faulkner had like some good battles. Osborne would catch Faulkner and then like make a mistake, and then he'd catch Faulkner and then make a mistake. Like the one he missed the triple, and then actually Faulkner almost threw it away too, because he was coming off that. After the finish line, that little like dragon back type thing, whatever it was, he was just jumping the entire thing, and then he just went in that turn like so fast, almost missed it, and then like Osborne would catch him, and then Osborne would make a mistake. So Osborne was not able to get around Faulkner to win that heat, but Faulkner won that thing. Zach Osborne got 2nd. Jeremy Martin got 3rd. Kyle Peters got 4th. Jordan Smith, who we said with that practice crash, was in 5th. Thomas Ramette, my fantasy pick, in 6th. Anthony Rodriguez looking good again. 7th place.
He looked really good in that heat. He actually started up front and then started to fade out. But
he was like 2nd.
Yeah. He ran up front for a while, and it was one of the things that I was saying. I feel like Anthony has the good speed. He has he has the ability to be up front. He just doesn't have the consistency. Like, he will make a stupid mistake that will cost him 4, 5, 6 positions, you know?
Right, exactly.
So he got 7. Sorry, Jacob Williamson got 8th, and then Luke Rensland 9th. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. Looking to what happened in the main, but yeah, 9th place for him. He made it in.
Definitely has to. I feel like in these races right here, making the main event and the heat races is very important. You know, due to the fact that if you were barely making it before, you were definitely not gonna make it with the East-West, with the both guys going into the LCQ.
Exactly. Yeah, and if you look at it like it being like a main event, like that's really good for a bunch of these people.
Yeah.
So yeah, John Short, Josh Osby, Joshua Cartwright, Lane Shaw, they're all going to the LCQ, which is where we are going to pick up.
Yeah, Michael Mossman and Sean Cantrell also to the LCQ.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so 250 LCQ, it was Dakota Alex had to start, followed by Cantrell, and Martin Costello was even up there. But all three of those, there was this was like the bad crash in the rhythm. It was Dakota Alex and Josh Osby.
Yeah, all the KTM guys got together in that start, and
they like hit and like Cantrell like hit one of them into the other one, and then they both like just came up short, and it was they fell so hard and so fast. Like I was watching it frame by frame, and it was just like the moment they're like straight up and down, the next moment they're like on the ground. Like they went down hard. So
yeah, definitely. So that's I think that's the only highlight. Also, Justin Starling did pretty good as well. He came back, I believe he was from like 7th or 6th place, all the way to 4th to make it into the main. Good for him. That's awesome. Kyle Chisholm.
Yeah, Kyle Chisholm is the one who did good. He freaking dominated that race.
Well, he had a good start and then just went up front and kind of left everybody. Justin Starling worked himself through the pack and got himself in position in the main event.
Yeah. And Joshua Cartwright, they did this whole special on him. Yeah. And they ran it right before the LCQ, and he came up 5th, that one position shy, and he was pissed. He was real frustrated.
He got passed at the end. He was battling for a while with Starling.
Yeah, there was I just felt bad for him, but it was a cool story that he had. He was he's still in school doing all that. But yeah, Cartwright, he was in 4th and Starling got him, and so he missed the main, but good for Starling getting up there. I kind of expected more out of Starling, but he got that last spot, so he made it in. But who didn't make it in? Michael Lieb. One of those guys from Racetrack Supercross.
Yeah, Michael Mossman also didn't make it. He was one of my picks for fantasy.
Oh, yeah. Your other fantasy picks actually turned out pretty good because you sent them to me, and I was like, dude, you're crazy.
Yeah,
and
nope.
that was good. Very nice.
I got messed up with the Michael Mossman thing.
Yeah, dude, I did good on mine, except I had Thomas Ramette, and he just had a terrible main. But if he would have done decent, I would have done way better. But I didn't do terrible.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, exactly. If he would have done better, then I would have done better. All right? Simple as that. Simple as that. All right, so let's jump into this main event, the East-West Shootout.
Showdown.
Showdown, whatever you want to call it. And this was, the race everyone wanted to see. Is it going to be Osborne? Is it going to be Faulkner? Is it going to be Plessinger? Is it going to be Cincerulo?
Savacci.
Yeah, it's going to be, there's so many people it could be. And it was really cool how this race turned out. So starting with the whole shot, Martin got the whole shot. Nope.
Yes.
Just kidding. Martin.
Yeah, Jeremy Martin got hurt. Martin is not racing. Jeremy Martin got the whole shot.
Yeah. And this is where Rodriguez, he was running second in this race.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jeremy Martin killed it. He really just killed it. There's no other way to put it for him. He just had a great night. Rodriguez was second. Rensland had a great start too, right there in third. Out of Cincerulo, hits that tough block on the beginning, and it falls, right into Osborne and Plessinger's way. So the 2 points leaders had to start from the very end of this race.
That was kind of interesting. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, that this was the kind of race that everybody was waiting for to happen, but it ended up finishing a whole different way. But good. It was a great race.
Yeah, so I like to see Osborne and falling in the first corner every week.
Yes, struggling. I get you. So yeah, there was a big pile up due to Adam Cianciarulo knocking up the tough block in the pretty much the first turn, and everybody got stuck behind it. Everybody except for those 3 guys. So
yeah, like Savacci, like around the first lap, Savacci was around like 6th, Faulkner was like 8th, Plessinger 17th, Osborne 19th. I'm not really sure what happened to McElrath, but he was all the way back there in like 20th. He just had it was just terrible race for him. We'll have to look it up and see what happened to him because he was just awful this race. But Savacci, it didn't end for him because he fell. He fell around that turn after the straight. So he fell all the way to 13th in position.
I was battling back there with Zach Osborne.
That's right. And Wharton he was running like 7th. It was like Wharton was 7th, Peters was 8th, Plessinger was 9th. So it was really good for Wharton to get back up there towards the front of this race. Osborne just working his way up. He's past Melross for 14th. And then Rodriguez fell. He fell to like 6th place. And then he got passed by Plessinger. But he didn't actually fall. He fell in positions. Yeah, so I said that weird. He didn't crash. But, it was Martin and Rensland and Jordan Smith, just running up there. And then Adam Cianciarulo was catching them, and Faulkner was right behind them in 5th. And then not really sure what happened to Sexton, but it was like Sexton was just going down laps, and then Melross was out. And Ramette was 20th, my fantasy pick. So I'm not really sure. I think I did see something on Melross. Melross, he dislocated his shoulder. So he was riding with that, and he just couldn't do it. So, yeah, sucks for him. There's another injury, another shoulder injury, too. They're just stacking up this year. And then the battle everyone wanted to see. Zach Osborne and Joey Savacci. They come together. Yeah. But
I know they came together, but it was super quick. I feel like Savacci didn't know it was Osborne until he finally look back, and he just kind of got scared and just moved out of the way.
Yeah, he did. He didn't really put up much of a fight, and it was only for 11th place, so they weren't battling for the lead. Yeah,
no, still though, it was he was doing so good, and then he kind of looked back. I feel like, and then he just kind of moved out of the way. Oh, okay, you can go.
Yeah. Yeah, I expected more out of them. Maybe a little tap, like, hey, I didn't forget about Vegas. Boom.
Bitch.
Yeah, just give them a little something. But
yeah, everybody was expecting, everybody was really looking forward to that. Savacci get redemption on Osborne. That would have been a hell of a story for sure. We would have been talking about it today. So Jeremy Martin ripping for sure up front. I think I called it a long time ago. If you wanted more advice, just let me know. Because I called it. I called it from 5 races ago.
Yep, definitely before. You said he was going to turn it up after Daytona, before Daytona. And he did. He's been killing it. Yeah. Another thing that we saw in this race, though, we saw the red cross flag out for a minute.
Yes. There was
Sean
a little
Cantrell.
problem. So we had... So Jeremy Martin ended up winning this whole race. Adam Cianciarulo got 2nd. And Luke Rensland, which I said it was interesting to see getting 9th place in the heat, he ended up getting 3rd.
Yep.
So that's to show you that you need a really freaking good star.
His first podium ever.
Yeah, his first. Yeah, that's so good for him. He's Jordan Smith got 4th. Aaron Plessinger, he got 5th. He did a little bit of comeback as well. Austin Faulkner, Zach Osborne in 7th. Kyle Peters at 8th. Phil Nicoletti in 9th. Joey Savacci in 10th. Mitchell Harrison.
Yep, in 11th.
Kyle Chisholm in 12th. Shane McElrath, which we were just talking about him. We don't know what happened. We got 13th.
Yeah,
Blake Warren also falling back a little bit.
Yep.
14th place. Rodriguez with the 15th. Harntraff to the 16th, starting with the 17th. Jacob Williamson with an 18th. Thomas Ramette, 19th. Sean Cantrell, 20th. Chase Sexton 21st. And last but not least, Mr. Hayden Melrose.
Yep, so Melrose dislocated his shoulder. Chase Sexton, not 100% sure what happened to him, but Sean Cantrell, that medical flag was out for him whenever he had some kind of problem.
Yes. So Jeremy Martin got docked 7 points.
He did.
He did win though. They did give him the win, but he just didn't get 26 points.
Yeah, so they said Jeremy Martin, they didn't say. Well, they did say it, and it actually happened. Jeremy Martin, he jumped on the medical flag. It was a triple. He rolled the first part of the triple, and then he doubled out.
Yeah, he was protested. He was protested after the win on Saturday night on the East-West Showdown in Indianapolis for jumping on the red cross, like we just said. After the main event, the AMA ruled that he will keep the win, like I just said, but he'll just get 19 points instead. This is what Jeremy Martin said about it. He said, "From my perspective, I came out of the turn and I didn't see the medic flag waving." He said, "I saw the lights on the triple and I was like, I think those are red. So I rolled the face of it and then I looked and saw that the area was clear and no medic flags after that, and then I doubled it. It was an honest mistake," he says. And I think it was an honest mistake. If you look at the replay, like if you really looked at the replay, you can see that he goes right by the flagger as the flagger's pulling out the medic flag, and then he's like on the jump and he like rolls it. So I don't know if it was fair to take him out because, like he said, there was really not anybody else waving a medic flag. Usually whenever you go by the medic flag, you're good to go. But AMA rules, if there's the red lights are on, then you must roll all three of the jumps.
Well, a couple things here. One, I hate the penalty for the crime because I didn't see anyone on the track. It seems like the light shouldn't have even been on at that point. There was no reason to have it on. There was no riders down. They had everything cleaned up by then.
Yeah.
And another thing, I know they enforce those differently. They're like, oh, this time we're gonna take 7 points away from it. Why 7? Why wouldn't they? Like, he had a huge lead on second place as he didn't gain an advantage. And then other races, you'll see him up. We're gonna dock him a position, or we're gonna dock him a lap. It seems like there's just very inconsistent of how they penalize these people.
Yeah, you're right. It is weird how they just kind of exactly like why 7 points. Like there's, I don't know. Like I feel like I'm with you. I feel like they should be consistent in the payment of the penalty.
I think it was last year or 2 years ago. Dungey won a race, but then they docked him for jumping on a flag, and then Anderson ended up winning. So they actually docked him like positions. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're just like, oh, well, maybe it's his first win of the year. We don't want to take that away from him because we know we fucked up. Like, we should not have had the lights on.
I don't know. I feel, I don't know how I feel about it.
I'll tell you how I feel. I told you how I feel. I think it was just bullshit. I think it's a bullshit penalty. I think it was just the track's mistake for not, having. I mean, these guys are trying to race, This is their career, their money. They got to keep that. Well, if there's no one down, pull the flag up.
If he would have jumped the triple, then yes,
yeah,
penalize the guy. But he didn't. He rolled the first one. It was clear. Jumped the second, the other two, it was clear. He did what he was supposed to do. And like I said, he does say that he saw the red lights flashing, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if he comes
over
that... the
penalty is definitely not fair.
Yeah, and if he comes over that triple and then he sees up, there's no one down up here, like, yeah, I'm going to jump it. There's no reason. Yeah, it just sucks that this is like the politics side of the sport that I don't like. I just wish they could just race it, It's like, there's no one down. I won the race. At least they didn't take his win away. If they took his win away, I think there'd be way more of an uproar.
And that's probably why they didn't, so that doesn't happen.
Exactly. So he won the race, and he gets 19 points. Cianciarulo gets second with 23 points.
I know that's so crazy to see. Jeremy Martin won the race with 19 points.
Yeah.
Adam Cianciarulo, 24 points.
If Jeremy Martin is sitting in fourth in the points.
Yeah, I got the points right here. If you want to
Yeah.
go over them real quick, here's the
thing: if he had that extra 7 points, he would go from 112 to 119. He'd still be in fourth place. Yeah. So it's not that big of a deal, but he would have been a lot closer. Because it would have put him,
instead of being 11 points
behind,
or 9 points away, he would be 3.
2. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let's touch up on these points real quick and wrap this sucker up.
So after the showdown, we on the east side we have Zach Osborne with 131 points, Austin Fortner with 124 points. It closed the gap a little bit. Jordan Smith with 121 points. So that's good. Between first and third place, there's only 10 points.
Yep.
Jeremy Martin's, like we just said, he's sitting in fourth place with 112. Luke Rensland, your third place podium, he's in fifth place with 92 points. Kyle Peters, 85 points. Sean Cantrell in 7th place with 59 points. Arjun Hampshire, he's hurt. He's sitting in 8th with 57 points. Hartranft in 9th with 57 points. And in 10th place, Colt Nichols with 54 points. As in, for the west side, it made it a little bit more interesting, I feel like, because they closed it off. Aaron Plexinger still is going to have the red play when we go back. He's sitting in first with 133 points. Joey Savacci with 129 points.
Hold up. I don't know what you're looking at, but the one I'm looking at has Plessinger at 151 points and Savacci at 142.
Was I right on the East Coast?
Yeah, you were right on the East Coast.
Well, I'm on Racer X, so.
Oh, Racer X, dropping the ball. Here, I'll read these off, though.
Okay.
So, yeah, Plessinger, 151 points, first place. Savacci, 142. So, 9 points away. Adam Cianciarulo, third place, 139. So, he's only 3 points away from getting that second spot. Shane McElrath, even after his terrible weekend, sits there in fourth with 127. And then Chase Sexton is in fifth with 109. So, he's way back there. And then it starts to get a little tight. Christian Craig is actually still in sixth place, 106 points. Justin Hill right there in seventh, so it didn't hurt him too bad. But then Chisholm there in eighth. Maybe he could gain a couple more positions too. Have a good finish of the year for him. Mitchell Harrison in ninth, and Hayden Melross 10th. Starling's way back there in 14th. Zach Osborne, I don't know why he's way back there. Oh, that's funny. Oh, this is
Yep.
No, I think that's right. That's right. I don't know why it's listed like that. It's got everyone on there. But yeah, so that's our points. I just read the top 10. It was a good night. It was everyone well anticipated. It lived up to the hype.
Yes.
The track was really short, it seemed. 45 seconds. Like they're just zooming around that thing.
It was really short, and it was definitely beat up.
Indeed, it was, with deep ruts. There were some really deep ruts in that too. But thanks everyone for tuning in to another episode of the MXSX podcast.
Yeah, make sure you guys give us a follow at MXSX podcast as well. We're going to be posting some more videos. Make sure to stay tuned for the 450 podcast as well.
Peace.